Hey everyone. So, long time no update. I've been kind of moving around a bit. I put off the power inverter project. I know everyone's it seems to be a fairly popular thing fairly regularly on my channel for some reason. I guess it does seem, having done research for making an actual power inverter, it does seem like the thing a lot of people want to do, but there's not a lot of information on how to do it. Hopefully soon I'll get back to that project. In the meantime, again, due to moving and other things, I've put that off. In the meantime, I've been working on another project, which which is basically a modular stereo system. I've had a couple of circuit boards made for as sort of a for prototyping. This is sort of to figure out whether or not the expansion slot plug on the circuit boards is good, and then if the footprint for the socket is good. It's basically I'm just abusing PCI Express since the sockets are so cheap compared to anything else. Unfortunately, for this particular one, while the plastic tabs fit fine, turns out the actual holes in the board are too small due to the plating that the manufacturer does. It turns out I actually only did this drill size for the exact size of the pins of the socket instead of taking into account the plating and how that would increase it. And this is unfortunately using the same footprint as the other board, so this also has a non-working socket here. But it has helped me figure out that these are for banana jacks for power, and those fortunately turn out to be right. And then these are just sort of expansion headers, and those turn out to be right. So I at least have that. Unfortunately, these boards, minimum quantities of 3 from OSH Park, are unfortunately not really useful. This I can at least have, make a keychain or something out of it. And it has told me that, at the very least, it works as a slot, and I can actually make the pins slightly larger, slightly wider for well, not pins, but the traces slightly wider for the power, at least, to make sure there's no issues with that, since they will be putting roughly twice as much as the PCI Express standard says through it. Instead of 12 volts, I'm upping it to 18 volts for the expansion cards. I'll cut in a image of the amplifier I'm working on. It's really just a circuit board layout right now. I haven't quite gotten it made, as I was waiting on the plug to come back to make sure that it's actually the traces are actually the right size and the right position, and that they won't get cut off on the edge because they're how close they have to be to the edge. OSH Park has, for 2-layer boards like this one, there's a specific distance from the edge that you can have traces before they get cut off. With this is a 4-layer board. It's a bit thinner, but it does allow closer traces to the edge. And for the PCI Express card, it actually worked out really well. Unfortunately, they don't route around the edges, so it is a bit rough, and I'll have to trim that with a rotary tool to get to be an actual bevel on the edge to make it easier to insert. Fortunately, I'm just doing this on my webcam, so I can't really change the focus on this. I do have a camcorder, but it's actually interlaced standard definition, so it's even worse quality than the webcam, although it can do focus changes. But it's just giving you a general idea. Hopefully, and basically, the expansion cards for the audio system are going to be just like a PCI Express card. I did make them electrically compatible enough so that hopefully if you plug something in, it won't, the wrong kind of card in, it won't damage it. Other than that, though, it's different enough because it's basically just doing I2S audio, 3.3 volt, not LVDS at all. And basically I'm just going to have a DSP that connects to every socket, so you can mix and change outputs between all the different expansion cards. So the first expansion card I'm going to have is going to be a stereo amplifier. The main board it's going to plug into is going to have USB, so you can plug that into a computer to do USB audio. And then other cards I plan to do include SPDIF, AM/FM, shortwave long-wave receiver based on, I believe it's Silicon Instruments chip. I have to look that up. Probably analog input/output, maybe Bluetooth based on like the WT32 or some other similar Bluetooth device. So basically, that's where I am. After I finish, well, I shouldn't say finish. Once I get the stereo system to a working state, I'm gonna move back to the power inverter. I'm gonna try to get a circuit board made for it, and then from there, after that prototype is done, I'll see about where I want to go from there. If I want to continue improving the stereo system or improve the power inverter, depending on what I want to do. All right, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. Hopefully I'll get some more videos up soon. We'll see how go if I can get the amplifier card made quickly. I might have a new video in the next month or two, and we'll see where we go from there. Thanks. Have a good day.